Alabama is hiding a big secret about Kalen DeBoer that a lot of you guys don't know about. So when Kalen DeBoer was first hired by Alabama to replace Nick Saban, a lot of people were a little bit skeptical about this move because let's just be honest, most people weren't really paying too much attention to Kalen DeBoer when he was at Washington, and to the Huskies really started getting mentioned more in the national spotlight. They beat Oregon and Dan Landing twice. They made it to the national championship, and that's when everybody started to somewhat realize just how good of a head coach Kalen DeBoer is. But I don't believe enough of you folk truly understand just how good Kalen DeBoer is and how good he's going to become as the head man down there in Tuscaloosa. And in 2 seasons at Washington, he went 25-3, taking over a program that their previous head coach at the time, Jimmy Lake, almost burned to the ground. And he came in, gave it some soul, got Michael Penix, developed him, turned him into a future top 10 pick in the NFL draft, along with several other star-studded players and receivers. They go to the national championship with the 34th best roster in college football, according to 24/7 Sports Team Talent Composite rankings at the time, which is something that is unheard of. Most teams that have won the national championship, or at least have been to that game, have had a top 10 roster from a talent standpoint. So for Kalen DeBoer to do what he did at Washington, not having the same amount of resources that some of these other head coaches have access to at a big-time program, shows you how good of a coach he is because he can do more with less. The dude was 10-1 against ranked teams at Washington. And not only was he winning at Washington, but he was winning national championships coaching NAIA football at some school called Sioux Falls. Can you even point out Sioux Falls on the map? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can, and I can't either. And in his 9 years of being a head coach, he's 107-12. So if you can win at all these different places, not having access to elite talent, not having a big NIL backing, imagine what Kalen DeBoer is going to do as the head coach of Alabama football. You got some of the best facilities in America. It's easy to recruit down there. You have elite blue chip talent to work with, and you're already a great head coach. Imagine the level of dominance that Kalen DeBoer is going to have with Nick Saban being retired. You know, I truly believe, and a lot of y'all are going to disagree with me, but the big secret that Alabama is keeping away about Kalen DeBoer is that they believe he can be the second coming of Nick Saban. Now, we know that there only is one Nick Saban. I'm not saying that he's going to end up winning all of the national titles that Nick Saban has, but he's going to be the closest thing to Nick Saban that college football is ever going to see again. And yes, I do know that Kirby Smart is the prodigal son and whatnot, but Kalen DeBoer, with what he has done as a head coach these last couple of years, there's no reason why he can't sustain the level of dominance that Alabama football has had with Nick Saban at the helm. He's a really good recruiter. You see the amount of success that Alabama's having on the recruiting trail right now for a guy that was going to struggle to recruit in the South because he wasn't from the area. If you're a good football coach, it doesn't matter where you're at. If you know how to recruit, you're going to be able to recruit no matter what part of the country you're at. You could be in Alaska and still be able to recruit at a high level. If you know how to coach some great football teams, you're going to be able to elevate any team that you're on just because the method that you have for being able to win works everywhere that you go. The best kept secret about Alabama and Kalen DeBoer is that he definitely is going to be the second coming to Nick Saban. People do not know just how truly good Kalen DeBoer is because they probably only found out about this dude once Washington got to the playoffs and once he took this job. But this man is an outstanding football coach, and I think he's on his way to becoming an all-time great. And I know that it is some high praise to say that A guy like Kalen DeBoer that hasn't won a national championship, that doesn't have anywhere close to the resume that Nick Saban has or even Kirby Smart has. But I really believe that Kalen DeBoer is a all-time great head coach or on his way to becoming that. Because if you can win at all these places, you can win at a school like Alabama, where you're just pretty much gifted everything that you need. And if you can do more with less, imagine what you can do now that you have more. And you already are a great coach that has proven that you can do and win with less. You know, like, I'm really high on Kalen DeBoer down there in Tuscaloosa. And I really don't think enough people understand how good of a coach he is. To me right now, he's the second best head coach in college football, only behind Kirby Smart. And if Alabama beats Georgia this weekend, I definitely believe that he has the right to that title of being the best coach in college football, because it's one thing to win at a school like Georgia where you got it all, but it's another thing when you've won everywhere you've been, not having the same amount of resources as these blue chip programs. You know, so Kalen DeBoer, look out for him. I think he's going to be an all-time great coach, and he easily could be the second coming to Nick Saban.